constrained. And one of the challenges of the church today is that our eyes are being constrained from the real Jesus. And we got caught up and trapped by materialism and greed and things. But we need to see the real Jesus. But when he broke the bread and he blessed the bread and he broke it and he gave it to them, the Bible says in verse 31, then their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished. Mission accomplished here. I just wanted y'all to know that he who was dead is alive, and alive forevermore. The Bible says that he blessed the bread, and he broke the bread, and he gave them the bread, and their eyes were open. Commentators suggest that Jesus Christ is known every time we take communion. And other commentators suggest that it was the familiarity of Jesus. I believe that when they watched him bless the bread and they watched him break the bread and they watched him distribute the bread, I believe that they said, I know that I've seen this before. I saw it when he broke the bread and fed 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. I saw it on the night in which he was betrayed, and he broke bread and he gave wine and he said, do this in remembrance of me. I know those hands. I know that prayer. I know that voice. That's Jesus. He is not dead. He's risen from the dead, and he's alive forevermore. I want somebody today in the building to recognize that Jesus is walking right alongside of you in the midst of all of your mess, all of your shame, all of your pain. But you got to recognize who he is, and the moment you recognize him is the moment you receive revelation. The moment you recognize him is the moment you begin to receive power. You receive possibility. You receive productivity. You receive passion. When you recognize who he is, you see things differently. When you know who Jesus is, you begin to see like God sees. When you see the word, the bread of life, broken for you. And you have vision. They said, did not our hearts burn within us? And they returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 that were gathered together. And they said, sure enough, the Lord is risen indeed. I want to challenge someone today, like these 2 followers of Christ on their way to Emmaus. The more they walked and talked, the more they wanted to walk and talk. Walk out your faith until you recognize that Jesus is there. Walk out your testimony until you see Jesus as alive. Walk out the word until the word becomes flesh in you. Walk this relationship out until you have a real relationship that when trouble comes, you can lean on him and not worry. Because if you're going to worry, then why pray? And if you're going to pray, then why worry? But you got to walk that thing out, and it takes time to love God. It takes time to become a disciple. You got to walk it out. It takes time to know him personally.